People think betrayal hits like an explosion, loud, sudden, and impossible to ignore. But the truth? It's quieter. It seeps in slowly like water finding cracks in a wall. And by the time you realize you're drowning, it's already too late. My name is Michael Reed. I'm 34 years old. And this isn't just a story about betrayal. This is how I burned everything he built to the ground. I wasn't born into power or wealth. I built my life from scratch. Every opportunity, every connection, every inch of respect I earned, I bled for. And when you've clawed your way up like that, loyalty isn't just a value. It's a lifeline. That's why I trusted Ryan Hale, my business partner, my best friend, my brother in everything but blood. We met 12 years ago in a cramped co-working space with peeling paint and bad coffee. We were both dreamers back then. Two broke kids in New York with nothing but ambition. We built our company, Hale and Reed Ventures, from a single rented desk to a name that mattered. By 30, we were featured in Forbes. By 32, people called us the future of tech. But fame doesn't change people. It reveals them. And what it revealed in Ryan was poison. It started with late nights at the office. Then it became missed calls, unexplained trips. Suddenly, there were decisions I wasn't a part of, deals signed without my input, accounts I didn't have access to anymore. I told myself it was stress, growth pains. I trusted him. Hell, I wanted to trust him. But betrayal has a scent. Once it's in the air, you can't ignore it. I found it in small things. A contract with my name misspelled. A bank statement with missing pages. A new LLC I'd never heard of, registered to Ryan's name. The moment I saw that document, something in me snapped. Not loud, not explosive, quiet, cold, precise. 3 months later, the house of cards finally showed its cracks. A government agent showed up at our office. Money laundering, wire fraud, offshore accounts. But here's the real twist. Everything was under my signature. Forged so well, even I almost believed it. Ryan didn't deny it. He didn't even flinch. He just stood there, hands in his pockets, with the calm of someone who had already decided I'd be the one to burn. "You're better at playing the good guy, Mike," he said, with a smile I'll never forget. "People will believe you ran everything. Not me. That day I lost everything. My reputation, my company, my future. But what Ryan didn't realize was that I had nothing left to lose. I didn't go to the police. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I disappeared. Revenge isn't rage. Rage is loud, messy, and stupid. Revenge is quiet, patient, calculated. For weeks, I lived like a ghost, studying every move he made. Every contact, every dirty deal. I still had something he didn't. Access. I'd built the system. I knew where to look. I dug deep. Offshore transfers, shell companies, hidden investors. A trail of corruption so big, it made the original fraud look like pocket change. But the goal wasn't to just bring him down. It was to make sure when he fell, he never got up again. I began feeding information to his own people, anonymously. Little leaks, carefully timed whispers. One investor thought Ryan was stealing from him. Another thought he was cooperating with the feds. Panic doesn't need truth. It just needs a spark. Within weeks, his empire started to fracture. The board began questioning him. Investors pulled back. And Ryan, the man who had once stood untouchable beside me, started to crack. That's when I set the final piece. I gathered everything, the forged signatures, offshore transfers, voice recordings, insider testimonies, a full, undisputable map of every crime he'd committed. And then I sent it. To the press, to the feds, to every single person who once called him their partner. The night the news broke, it rained. It always rains in moments like that, doesn't it? Ryan's face was on every screen. FBI raids, freezing of accounts, public outrage. And where was I? Standing across the street, in the shadows, watching the building we'd built together bleed under flashing red and blue lights. I didn't smile. I didn't feel joy. Revenge isn't sweet. It's heavy, like closing a coffin lid on something that once mattered. But I felt peace, and that was enough. Ryan tried to run. They caught him in a private jet bound for Belize. 20 years minimum. No parole. Me? I stayed quiet. I rebuilt from nothing again. This time, alone. And sometimes at night, when I walk past the old building, I remember the boy who trusted too much. And the man who learned the hard way, loyalty is a blade. In the right hands, it protects. In the wrong hands, it cuts you open.